Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Evan here. Today I wanted to talk about something that I don't think is talked about enough. I think it's often neglected, and I think if one thing is gonna get skimped on in your regimen, it's probably gonna be this thing. If you guessed sleep, you're correct. I think that for a lot of us, when we start bodybuilding, we're under the impression, it's all about training. You got to train hard. You got to eat the right diet. You got to take the right supplements. And that's all true. All that stuff is good. It's all vital. However, people don't usually emphasize sleep. You might hear somebody say, hey, make sure you get your 8 hours. But that's about the extent of it. Now, most people don't get 8 hours. And 8 hours is a generic number, of course. Nothing says 8 hours is optimal for you or for me. Everybody's different. However, one thing that is very common, aside from just a lack of total sleep, is sleep quality. Now, why is sleep so important, right? So let's back up a second. And I always encourage people to look at things kind of in terms, when you're determining the importance of something, let's consider sleep, right? There's some things that we absolutely need, right? Water's pretty important. You can only go probably a few days before you die without water. So water, whether you're a world-class athlete or a champion bodybuilder or just a regular person just living life, it doesn't matter if you sit at a desk all day, you need water. It's pretty important. Without it, you'll die. Oxygen, right? You could probably only go a couple minutes without oxygen, you're gonna die. Oxygen, very important. Sleep's another one that's up there. Sleep deprivation could occur pretty quickly. If you were to just try to not sleep at all, like your body is gonna start shutting down. Why? Because you need it. All the restorative processes that need to take place on a daily basis all happen during sleep. That's why, look, if you go by the 8 hours rule, right? 8 out of 24, that's a third of your day, which would inevitably turn into a third of your life. If the recommendation is that you should be spending a third of your life sleeping, it's probably pretty damn important. A lot of people will neglect sleep. They'll get their training in. You got your job every day. You can't miss that. You got kids, got to take care of your kids. Maybe you got a second job, got to get that in. Sleep is going to be the thing that suffers, usually. And that's too bad. Of course, if I could make some suggestions, I'm going to be the one to tell you, I personally feel, I don't think it's as important to follow a Netflix series, all right? I'm going to go to sleep each night. I got to get up early every morning. I got a lot to get done every day, but I do feel that my sleep is very important. So when there's an option to, spend some time dicking around, staying up late watching a movie, I don't do it. I go to bed early. People who know me make fun of me. I'm in bed by 9 every night. I'd love sometimes to stay up, watch a movie, but I don't. When you can't, right? There's gonna be times when you're just pressed, you're pressed for time. There's literally not enough hours in the day, coupled with the fact that a lot of people don't sleep well. I coach tons of people. I have everyone fill out an assessment form prior to me developing a protocol for them. And one of the things that I ask about is sleep. And I'll say, how many hours do you sleep a night? And then immediately following will be the question, how many hours of sleep would be ideal? So usually the answer I get to, in response to how many hours do you sleep a night? Usually it's 5, 6, sometimes 7. How many hours do you think would be ideal for you? And that number is always more than the number that they're getting. And additionally, a lot of people will say they suffer from sleep disturbances. If you're a bodybuilder, sleep apnea, big problem. Not a good problem. Well, not that any problem is good, but that's a big, big problem. Not something you want to ignore. I experienced it a lot throughout my career. At the moment, I'm not as heavy as I was at my biggest. There were off seasons where I was well over 300 pounds and the sleep apnea would get really bad. I mean, I know my body well enough to know that generally as soon as I hit about 290 and start going above that, sleep apnea is gonna be a big issue. Now, I haven't slept on my back probably since I was 18 because I snore like crazy and literally just won't be able to breathe. So I have to sleep on my side. But when I get heavy like that, it doesn't matter if I'm on my side, on my stomach, I'm gonna snore like a chainsaw and I'll be waking up all night, choking, gasping for air. And that's not a good place to be, all right? Probably not the best thing. When your own body weight is starting to suffocate you and kind of hamper your gains, not a good place to be. And of course, if you're a shredded 290, no, I was never a shredded 290. Okay, so me at 290, I was holding extra water, extra fat, extra weight that I didn't need to be holding. So moving forward, from that time on, I just kept my body weight at a more reasonable, the 280s were very manageable for me. It's my point being, sleep apnea for most people is very heavily correlated with your body weight. So if you're carrying extra weight and your sleep is really screwed up, I would encourage you to, take off some of that extra body fat, drop some of that excess fluid, and sleep better at night. Another big problem is a lot of people sleep on a crappy mattress. Don't do that, right? If you're gonna spend a third of your life on that mattress, spend a couple extra bucks, make it something that you enjoy sleeping on, right? And if I'm gonna give you one little tip there, it should be something that's very supportive, then comfortable enough, not something that's comfortable and like kind of just supportive enough, because a lot of you guys are big, right? And you need support. The bigger you are, the more crucial support becomes. If you're a 100-pound female, you could get away with sleeping on, a more plush, soft mattress and not have it negatively impact you. You guys are big. You need a really heavy-duty supportive mattress. Some other things you can do to, help yourself wind down. I generally sleep pretty good, all right? But I've gone through periods where I either can't fall asleep, I'm waking up all night, or, I go to sleep easy and then I wake up and then can't fall back asleep. It's happened to me, especially around contest time, times when I was in a prep. I don't know if it's, just nerves or, you're hungry, it's hard to sleep. But, there's some tricks that, I employ. I like to take a shower at night. For me, a hot shower helps me to relax, get in something comfortable. I'll eat prior to that because I don't like eating, too close to bed. If I go to bed on a really full stomach, my digestion is probably, the digestive process isn't going to be complete. And then I'm laying there and then, your body's trying to rest, but it's also trying to digest all that food. Not really an ideal scenario. I like to leave at least an hour. 2 hours is much more ideal between the time I last ate and when I'm going to sleep. After, if I do have time after I take a shower at night, I do like to sit down and watch, maybe a couple minutes of TV. And this is gonna sound really stupid or really corny. TCM, right? Turner Classic Movies. It's the station on TV that plays all the old movies. I'm telling you, you sit down each night and you watch a black and white movie, you will go right to sleep. At least for me, it knocks me out. I don't know if it's just the lack of intensity. Maybe when I say intensity, right, there's not a lot of visual intensity because there's no color. There's no special effects. And just the movie making was a lot more mild back then, right? There wasn't all these special effects and all this crazy stuff happening. You sit down and you watch a black and white movie. Plus it's good too because Turner Classic Movies, no commercials, right? So you watch a movie just continuously. I have a bad habit of, or in this case, a good habit of just nodding off in the middle of watching one of those movies. And to even expedite the process, if I sit there and I drink a cup of hot tea, For whatever reason, sometimes I'm like barely finishing the cup of tea and it's like spilling on me and I'm falling asleep. I do that. Now, I've gone through periods where no matter what I did, okay, it wasn't working, right? Pre-contest, the last couple weeks before a show. And I mean, I've used everything from, skullcap to valerian root, right? On the herb side, all different herbs, ZMA, effervescent magnesium products. I've even gone so far as to, use a little bit of Ambien. I felt Ambien was garbage. Even one prep, I used some Valium. And let me tell you, if you're watching this, do not use anything like that, especially if you're a bigger guy and you have sleep apnea. Something like Valium in combination with sleep apnea is a really dangerous combination. It could affect your breathing. You could essentially not wake up. Do not do that. Plus, something like that has a very high potential for addiction. You don't want to trade some insomnia for, God forbid, an addiction to something like that. So look to find something natural. Now, again, going back to things I've tried, melatonin, all sorts of stuff. Animal puts out a really fantastic product in the form of Animal PM. It, as all animal products do, have several different components, right? One of which is a strong herbal component, a vitamin mineral complex, as well as some key amino acids. And they all contribute to more sound sleep, in different ways. It's a fantastic product. It works. Times when I know maybe I'm going to be not getting as much sleep as I want to, and or maybe something's bothering me, whether it's in the form of physical, mental stress, or even physical stress. Sometimes you tweak something, it's hard to nod off. You're in pain. I will use something like Animal PM, and it helps to put me out. And I know I'm in a deep sleep because if I get up to use the bathroom, I'm like, bumping into walls. It's a fantastic product. It's a nice and safe product. And if you're somebody who struggles with getting enough sleep and or sleep quality, I think it's a fantastic option. You guys, know me. I don't put my name on anything that I don't believe in. I don't put my name on anything that I don't or wouldn't use myself. And Animal PM is a product that I can highly recommend. So don't neglect your sleep. It's not always the easiest thing to do, but when you have the opportunity, get in bed, get those hours. It makes a massive difference. You need all the recovery you can get if you are training hard, even if you're not training hard, all right? If you're watching this and you're somebody who sits at a desk all day, you still need your sleep. It's still such a vital, component of being healthy and proper functioning. So I hope you found this at least a little bit helpful. And as always, stay tuned for more, and I'll see you guys soon.